If it says, Janet, take me home, then I am going to take it home, whether it's got some polyester in it or not. And I think it'll be just fine. Hi, it's Janet. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about thrifty quilting and why you don't need expensive fabrics to get started quilting. In fact, some of my favorite materials have come from old shirts, thrifted sheets, or other cast-off materials that just need a second chance. So let's start with what I mean by thrifty quilting, and then we'll dive into my number one favorite place to find cheap and meaningful fabric, the thrift store. So what do I mean by thrifty quilting? To me, it means using secondhand, thrifted, and repurposed materials to make quilts and other quilted items. It also means, to me, using what I have first. Quilters and crafters are notorious for having, a lot of materials, and oftentimes I think we can overlook those things. So I'd like to shop my stash first when I am starting a project and go from there. So my favorite place to find fabric is thrift stores. And I know this isn't a revolutionary idea. We all know thrift stores have so much useful, wonderful things. But I thought I would share kind of how I approach a thrift store, and also share some things that I have picked up at thrift stores and what I've done with them, or maybe what I plan to do with them, and just as an inspiration, hopefully. So usually when I go to a thrift store, I like to see if they have a craft section first. Some do, some don't. I live in a small town with 2 thrift stores, so sometimes those sections are sparse, I should say, but still, I like to check that section first. You just never know what treasure might show up. And also, when I travel, I will go to the big thrift stores, and one of the last times that I was at a big thrift store, I found this gigantic, basically full bolt of Red Hat Society fabric, and I think it was $5 for this whole thing. I'm not even sure how much material is on it, but I couldn't pass that up, and I'll have to come up with some ideas for this, but this was a really fun find. Other things that I look for in craft sections would be unfinished projects. Like these items here I made from, it was a bundle of unfinished placemats that someone had donated to the thrift store, and I used it to make a little pouch and a little book sleeve, and just, this fabric was already quilted and patchworked and ready to go to be turned into something cute and useful right away. So after the craft section, I go straight to the linens department in the thrift stores. By linens I mean sheets, pillowcases, tablecloths, curtains, blankets, quilts that are already made. I'll keep an eye out for those things. I just love finding flat sheets in the linen section. They're so big, and a lot of times the flat sheets in a set, are still in really good condition, because the fitted sheet is what really gets more used and more washed, and so you can really find some nice flat sheets, and sometimes pillowcases too, that are just really gorgeous. And so this is one of my, it's just a piece of it now, but this was a a flat sheet that I had found at a thrift store, one of my locals. And I just love this. I think this is my favorite flat sheet I've ever found at a thrift store. It's just so pretty. And so I have used this fabric up and made some things. I have a big piece of it here still that is yet to be made into something, but it's quilted and ready to go. And then I've also made a little pouch out of it. Came out. It's really cute. I made this is a project bag, kind of for knitters or crochet. There's lots of room for yarn and pockets inside. This is a fun little project, and it has this corduroy on the bottom, which I also found at a thrift store, and I just love how that turned out. And I also used this to make a big tote bag, and oh, it's just so cute. I love this bag. Got pockets on the inside, and what I did was, when I found this flat sheet, there were some pillowcases that were with it, but not a fitted sheet. So it was, an unmixed, a mismatched little set. But the pillowcases were a little more faded, and so I used the pillowcases for the inside pockets inside this bag. And I don't know if that comes through, but anyway, was able to use the sheet and the pillowcases for these projects. And I think with that other piece of fabric, I'm gonna maybe make some more tote bags. Other pillowcases, I mean, look at this pillowcase. And this is so fun. And when I am in the linen section, I like to also look at the kids' sheets. I am a grandmother, and I like to make, kind of keep my eye out for things that are fun for kids. And my grandson loves tractors, and I found this sheet. It's like a twin flat sheet with tractors all over it. And, I think at my thrift store, the flat sheets were 50 cents or something. And this is just so much fabric. I'm not sure what I'll do with this yet, but, got to pick that kind of stuff up. And I also, just in case I want to make some other projects, that just pick up little things that are maybe pop culture, a little SpongeBob, a little Mickey Mouse. This one definitely isn't cotton, but that's okay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've kind of thought about maybe making a puffy jacket with this or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's so fun to find rare. I think this is vintage, actually. It's original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles looking to me. The other thing in linens to keep your eye out for and be open to, I would say, would be quilts that are already made, maybe mass produced, or maybe vintage, or just otherwise they've been discarded already by somebody, and they're already quilted, so you can just take it as is and make something fun with it, a little zipper pouch or a tote bag. Let's see. Oh, I also have this, and look at this. I think this was a curtain, and it is so cute. It's got bunnies. Oh, it's just, I don't know, I couldn't even let it go. It's got little birds and bunnies. It's so pretty. So, sheets, children's sheets, curtains, pillowcases. When I am looking at these materials, I do prefer cotton, but I don't really get too hung up on the fiber content. I just kind of, if it says, Janet, take me home, then I am going to take it home, whether it's got some polyester in it or not. And I think it'll be just fine to use it. So, okay, so after linens, then I'd like to look in the men's shirts, especially large, extra large, and bigger, because those really have a lot of fabric in them. It's a lot of fabric, but it's also, you're not committing to yardage with men's shirts. You can really get the most out of it and not have too much left over if you plan it right. So I have a couple of, I just went thrifting this week and picked up some shirts for a very specific project that I will probably put up next week. You know, this shirt is blue with these circles, and you know, when you look at the back of a shirt, there's really so much fabric there that can be used, and long sleeves have a lot. I don't know exactly how much it is, but I think it's probably a half a yard. You know, it's chopped up, but at least a half a yard in a large shirt. This is such an, I mean, this one is very vintage, but in very good condition, and it's a nice neutral. It's going to work perfectly for my project. And this is a chambray. You know, this is so soft, but look at that, so much fabric in the back here. I mean, that's at least a fat quarter just on the back, right? So anyway, I like to keep an eye out, and with the men's shirts, at least in this last time that I went shopping, I was really looking for some specific colors and themes, and so it was kind of nice to have a boundary of, this is what I'm looking for, and I'm going to look for it in men's shirts. And then, you know, then I was able to find what I needed. Okay, so some tips for using thrifted fabric would be that, you know, to kind of keep in mind what the fabric content is. And if it is something that is used, and I think even like with this bolt of fabric, before I use it, I'll probably wash it. But with almost everything that I purchase at a thrift store, I throw it in the wash first thing. And if there's, you know, bright colors, dark colors, I might throw some color catchers in there to make sure that they don't bleed. Now, if they're at a thrift store and they've been worn and used, then there's probably not going to be a lot of issues with bleeding. But still, it's a good, you know, habit to get into, to wash everything. So I just want to encourage you to, you know, explore the thrift store, see what you can find, and, you know, be open to that creative process of the boundary of a thrift store. I think that's kind of fun, especially if you have a specific project in mind. That can be a really fun, creative project, or fun, creative process, I should say. And I know that's probably not everything that you could find at a thrift store. I'd love to hear, you know, have you really found something wonderful at a thrift store? What is it? Put it in the comments below. Or, you know, is there another area in the thrift store that you really kind of gravitate towards? Let me know. I'd love to hear, you know, what you think about this idea. And if you have a fun fabric story, I'd love to hear that too. Anyway, thank you. If you're watching still, thank you. I appreciate you so much. And if you've just come across this channel for the first time, I would love to have you subscribe and be part of this community here with me. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, I think my next one will be the project using the shirts, and it's going to be nice. If you've got some ideas of what you might like to see on this channel in the future, then let me know below in the comments. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.